Hi YouTube, I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. We might have a little bit of an interruption here. I'm also going to roll some cigarettes while I'm talking to you. I've been pretty busy, so this will save me some time and I can just say hello. Maybe some of you are wondering if I'm okay because I usually do a video every day. Just taking a break. I needed it. Well, I had a lot of things to do around here. It's never ending. You know how that goes. But yeah, it was break time. I needed it. Um, I had ran across the Dan McCullen video, and he wasn't talking about what I asked him about, but um, I asked him about, oh, now, wait, I'm having problems making a cigarette. Maybe I'll make one and just talk to you for a minute. Here, just a sec. Okay. Um, I asked him if he could tell me what he knows about, were there any transgender, cross-dressing, or um, hermaphrodites in the New or Old Testament. I want to see what he can come up with. I told Doug that. He's like, yeah, probably was back in the days like them great big people. He said, like, if you could imagine like those 20 footers like that. And oh yeah, I was grateful for the physical picture of it. You know, no, no, I wasn't. But anyway, it was funny. I think it was meant to be funny, but it probably isn't even a joke, knowing Doug, you know, probably not a joke at all. But anyway, so, and yeah, hermaphrodites are very, very rare. I had looked up to see what I could find on, see, because I know what the agenda like with the King James Bible and even like colonial England, what they were like with feminizing men and boys, especially like in the theater or in the courtroom with what they called the wigs, the people that, you know, um, lawyers, attorneys, what do they call them there? Uh, Constables? It might come to me. I do know. But anyway, I'll tell you some more on that in a little bit here. Just a sec. But anyway, colonial men, it was a fad. And not just them, then it had come and gone through different times, like in Japan and China and France and um, some countries, maybe not as much as others, but in colonial England, it was definitely a fad for these men. They started wearing just like plain wigs, and then they went into the full blown lipstick and earrings, and then total cross dressing and that type of thing. And it was a fad. Then I ran across some disturbing things because I was trying to see what I could find on that as a psyop. Like some people believe that estrogen in water supplies and or soy or different things like that would have an effect on human beings like that. So, which I'm not so convinced about. I think it really has to do with a person's spirituality. Um, no matter what, we all have our spiritual leaders that we aspire to. Some see that as God, some see God as like a Mr. and Mrs. God, and some see that as even self-made, or who knows. People think all the way different. But the interesting thing about just believing that it was God all by himself, he did say, let's make man in our image. And that's still in Genesis, no matter who wants to debate what. And it wasn't two men that did that. But, you know, and nobody can prove anything anyway, you know, because if you know anybody that was there at the beginning, let me know, because I'd really like to ask them some questions, that type of thing. But yeah, how many cultures and how many people around the world swear that their spirituality is guided by the divine? You know, every single one of them. It's all a spiritual encounter to them, you know. But to think even back in Egyptian times, you've seen pictures, I'm sure you have, where there's these three creatures, and they each have, it's like a head of a jackal. There's two male bodies and one female body. The one smaller one has breasts. you know they were hiding their identity a long time ago, in one fashion or another. I don't think it was a fad. I think it was um, a means of confusing generations. It's just like, if there was a woman in a painting, and look for this too, because I'm giving you a clue. The same with those wooden beards. You put a beard on a woman, her face is still going to be feminine, but it is going to trick your mind into thinking it's a man. Look for it. Look for it in old art and Renaissance artwork. Look for the added beard in different paint and different techniques, like the texture is even all wrong, or the coloring of it. You'll see what I mean. Look for that, because that is the agenda, to cover up the female's part in the creation story, and the um, what would I say? How would I say, the cultivation of um, people's societies. Women had a lot to do with that. You know, but not from the way you hear a lot of men tell that tale. It's like women didn't even give birth. You know, so I'm sure if the Catholic Church could get away with getting Mother Mary out of there, or pretty soon they're going to tell you that she's really not a female, or she has both genders, or something like that. Who knows what they're going to come up with in the future, right? But these fads have come and gone, and I think a lot of it has been, even in ancient times, psychological operations to destroy the next generations from um, being either male or female separately, to give them the idea that we are mixed. And what was disturbing this morning in my investigation of what, God forbid, even Wikipedia had to say, I was thinking about reading some of it. It's like, you can go look it up. I looked up colonial England feminization of men. And I came up with stuff. I also ran across a whole school of some woman that will feminize your boy. It didn't say young man, it didn't say man, it said boy. That's to me criminal, you know. I don't know how you feel about that, but some woman, well, thing out there offering courses that you pay for to feminize your child. Now, I thought it was rather funny, although it isn't humorous, really oddly funny. There was also courses that you can enlist your husband in that they will help you. 7 easy steps to feminize your husband. How about that? That sounds like a doozy, you know. I wonder what those 7 were. I didn't look at them. It's like, nah, I can just imagine. But um, some people are under the impression that in order to experience the other gender, that you have to become that gender in order to get in touch with that side of you. And I'm telling you, there is not another side beyond who you are. But you'll hear everything to the contrary. I'm going with biological evidence and spiritual knowing that I'm a woman and I'm not trying to get in touch with my male part. I'm half my mom, half my dad, but I came out female, you know? So, and I know a lot of people all over the world have their own reasons for believing different renditions of whatever that means to them. And hey, do you. That's cool. Do whatever is closest to your heart. That's what I would recommend. And don't bend or break for anybody, no matter what, because that's what you're choosing. And there's a place for everybody. So that's how I feel. I mean, my place may not be your place, and you're probably happy about that, maybe. And likewise, I'm happy I'm not in your place under those circumstances. So, and are we all connected? Well, supposedly so. There's people out there that are under the impression that everything in the universe or cosmos or whatever is connected by a invisible thread. I'm really not into that school of thought. I see the separation of the wheat and the tares, no matter what that means to somebody. This is my belief, what I believe, that there's people that are good enough to make the cut and those that still need to be put back into the oven or maybe sowed with a little better seed next time or something. That's my opinion, no matter who feels what about what. Yeah, we might be connected, but how closely? Maybe there's something to what I just said there. I mean, I'm connected to my feces until it comes out of me, you know, right? Then what? Do I want it back? Do I feel soulfully tied to that fecal matter? Not explicitly so. So, if you see my point. So, yeah, everything's connected somewhat. It's like a painting on the wall. Is the wall and the painting connected? Well, the painting is usually hung by a hanger or a nail into the wall that you insert that. So it has a medium. It actually has a physical implement to make that connection, but they're actually not connected until you make that physical connection. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. I was listening to somebody that has some liberal school of thought, and I did unsub. The biggest reason why is what I'm talking about in my beliefs, and I would I'll just call a dude a corn dog. You're a corn dog dude or a pound of puff, you know. Not quite a steak, but a corn dog. But so, and besides that, the audio was so awful. It's like I have to turn my stuff completely up and still have to, and I have excellent hearing, so it's like, nah, no thanks. I've been weeding out some, like, if they bother me, I'm not going to let them bother me, because there is an agenda for the ruin of families, and there's a lot of people that don't believe that this is an actual thing in the world, or because they've never read Karl Marx, they've never read anything about socialism or fascism or communism. You just haven't, and some people. And even if they have, it seems to me that the playbook that's been implemented, like with all the German scientists that came here, did experiments on people, killing like 40 and 50 or 100 at a time, and then going into smaller countries and like Ireland and whatnot, and putting these people on ships and bringing them over to do more experiments on them. And this is a true story, by the way. This was happening in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, pre World War and one and two and after, and is still in existence with many German scientists that came over here and changed their names. Like the Weiss name, for instance, was Weiss over in Germany, turned into Miller, Moeller, Seaman, and then Weiss over in the United States. That many changes in one bloodline's lineage. And that's what these controllers have done in the world. And it is a psychological operation. It absolutely is. And why isn't somebody in jail that wants to take somebody's child before they even know what they want to do for the rest of their life and monkey with their hormones or whatever like that? I mean, I can see, hey, if you're like pregnant and you want to teach your husband more compassion, maybe you want to enlist him in that, how to feminize your husband. No, I don't think that's a very good idea. Somebody's got to be like, who's going to protect you when you're pregnant and you're getting beat up? Your feminine husband, you know? I don't think that's a good way for society to go. That's just my thoughts on that, you know. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been thinking about. Like I said, I thought about reading some stuff to people, but really nothing I say is going to make anybody's mind change or anything. I mean, I'm not out to actually change people. I'm out to change the way you look at this psychological operation that is underway, and how many times in the past that they tried to do that to societies, and why they were trying to do that. for the amount of control that they could get over people under those circumstances, and who's most vulnerable when that type of thing happens. If little people don't have a bold enough father to protect the family, what are you going to do? And the cops don't always get there on time. You can't say that. You really can't. Sometimes you just need somebody's protection in life, and hopefully it will be the head of the family, you know? Correct? So, yeah, things are connected, yeah, but not always as closely as others would think, and maybe not even close enough to be an impact. It's like, okay, so we're connected to the farthest star in the cosmos and go through many, many galaxies just to get to that one outlying area. How closely connected are we to that? I heard something very interesting about calling upon planets or whatever for energy and that type of thing, and that people may not want to do that because with those dark arts, there's consequences. And I don't think human beings know enough of what they would consider magical, or um, I think they're messing with things that they should maybe better not, you know. But I suppose if your life's like super rotten and you don't have anything better to do, or you don't care if a demon pops out and takes your breath away, literally, or affects your heart or anything like that, well, then it probably doesn't matter. But I'm just expressing my feeling on how I feel about magic. Um, I don't think it's an actual. It's a practice. I don't think it's an actual thing. You're drawing your energies from the good good entity or the bad one. Period. My thoughts. you know. So anyway, well, that's probably about it for today. I just wanted to speak on that cross-dressing fad psyop that's been tried in humanity several times, and not for the expression of freedom. That is not what the dark cabal is trying to do at all. Might be your intention to express yourself in a way that's out of the norm and it makes you special. Everybody's so special. But I'm telling you, these things were done entirely on purpose to waylay the next generation. It doesn't even have anything to do with the people that are doing it now. It's the people that are going to be affected in the future. So that's my concerns on that. Somebody's concerned about my outlook on the whole thing. Don't worry about my outlook. Take a second look at yours. I'm a mom and a grandmother, and that's where I stand with my heart and the forethought for every human on this planet, and a psychological operation that is going to demean the masculinity of men. Well, it doesn't fit into my playbook. It might yours, but it doesn't mine. And I'm just expressing my feelings on that. So, okay. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.